This video is for the girly pops, so if you're not a woman, please scroll. Okay, ladies, so I am on my era of being more feminine, or my journey of being more feminine. I have been single for a very long time and almost masculine in a way for a very long time, because like from my childhood to now I've had to be so overly independent, and I've had to do so much in my life to like get to where I am today, and I've had to work very hard, so I've been like more masculine probably than I should have been living my life. So I am starting my journey to be more feminine, and that for me means not wearing sweats and hoodies every day. I'm gonna try to wear more feminine clothing, like dresses and things, because I will literally put on a dress and I don't feel pretty in it.
All right, gentlemen, ladies, today we're going to examine femininity. Now, I'm going to take it from the perspective of this young lady, Essie, and she's struggling with being feminine. And I thought I would sort of hit on this subject because I know a lot of young ladies today are struggling with the same problem, not excluding my 19-year-old. I had to start getting on her case because she was dressing much too masculine. You know, she will argue with this point because all of her other friends dress exactly the same way. But I don't give a shit about her other friends. I know how women operate. Once one do something or some style becomes the thing, they all jump on that bandwagon regardless what it is, right? Now over here, people dress a lot more conservative than the US or the West. Over here, it's baggy jeans and, you know, vintage baggy tops. They will go to thrift stores and they will try to find, hoodies that have rock stars on it. People who hand in or give away their old clothes, the vintage stuff. And they will scour through brands and so on, trying to find the good stuff, But the thing is, it's very masculine based. So I started getting on her case when I saw her as she hit teenage, that, they're kind of getting a little bit too masculine in her appearance. So that's why I had a personal interest in this subject. Now, she's slowly starting to change as her interests become, more in line with, boys, right? And she realized that, getting better results when I actually put on a dress or a skirt or something, that little black dress that she wore to prom, etc., got a lot of attention. So she's starting to wake up. She don't show me these things or she don't tell me these things, but I can see what's happening, So that's what we're going to get into today, because a lot of women are becoming a lot more masculine in their appearance. And quite a few of them are waking up, including this young lady here, Essie. She's heavily tattooed. She's now in the process of trying to get rid of those tattoos. That's one of the biggest problems with a lot of these young girls who made the mistakes of tattooing their entire body. And then now when they're older and reality starts to kick the shit out of them, then they're trying to undo some of those mistakes they made in the past. So there's 2 videos that she's addressing, and I'm going to talk to her and in turn make you guys understand what you're dealing with when it comes to women who think like this and how to solve these problems. So my friends, like this video on the way in, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, check the description of this video and all of my videos if you want to find digital products or how to support the channel. A lot of stuff up there, AI tools, etc. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the description of my channel, so you can find some goodies up there. So let's analyze Essie. Is it Essie? Essie. E-S-S-I-E. Essie. Let's stick with that one. Now, here's the thing. Femininity is quite subjective to women. Now, the one basic flaw that she had here was she's asking other women on how to be more feminine. But we need to first define what femininity is. And the only way to define femininity is to find out from men what they desire in a female. Because femininity revolves around being desirable by the opposite sex. In reality, let's break it all the way down, right? The idea of being feminine and the reason you want to be feminine is to be attractive to the opposite sex. Otherwise, why would you even bother? Because that's what feminism have convinced a lot of these women that's why they're dressing the way they dress, because they grew up with this idea that I don't need a man and this is who I am bullshit, and they turn to the whole masculine ideal. This idea I had to work from my young years. I mean, what the hell does that mean? You had a job when you were a kid? She's not an old woman. So this idea is I had to work for everything from the time I was really young. Yeah, so did my wife. My wife had her first job at 15 and she's very feminine most of the time. I'm playing with her. Stop it, guys. Come on. Don't do that. You know, she also been bitten by the whole feminist bug as well. She's come out of it a lot. But the reality of it is that she also has that corporate executive woman, you know, bug in her head as well. But she is extremely feminine. And so we need to break down what femininity is. Of course, I need to go to my good old pal, ChatGPT. I want to know what AI has defined as femininity. Hey, Sage, how do you define femininity?
Well, I'd say femininity is generally about qualities or traits that cultures traditionally associate with women. That could include things like nurturing, empathy, grace, or even how someone expresses themselves or presents their style. Of course, it's got a lot of nuance and can vary a lot depending on cultural or individual perspectives, but at its core, it's just a way of describing those traditionally feminine characteristics.
So those traits of nurturing, caring, empathy, etc., those would grow with a woman. In turn, the femininity would grow with that woman. So now that is the utility. Now, the other part of being feminine is she has to attract a mate to take care of her. She is the weaker of the two sexes. So, especially back in the day when she had no protection from a man, it was essential for her to have the protection of a man. That's why she would make herself feminine enough so that a man would find her attractive. Common sense would tell you if she acted like another man, most men wouldn't find her attractive because men look for the opposite traits in her. Men don't find men attractive. Well, not straight men. So that means that feminine traits had to be enhanced from the woman's side in order for the man to find her attractive. So, after that long freaking description of what I'm trying to get across to you, who would you ask about femininity if you had a problem with being feminine? A man or a woman? Who would you ask and who should you ask? The man. What do you like? What do you see as feminine? What am I lacking? And a man would tell you instantly the truth. You need to get rid of the tattoos. You need to start wearing some dresses. You look like a man. You need to cut your hair so that you look a lot more feminine. You need to change your voice. You sound like a man. You need to stop being so aggressive. You need to be fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable, and childless. But she chose to ask women. And who are the women? Her competitors. Oh.
I literally don't feel pretty in like skirts, dresses, like stuff like that. And I think that's a problem. Like I should be able to feel pretty in those things and not feel like I just look like a man in a dress. And that's, again, just how I'm perceiving myself because I've had to be so masculine for so long to just survive and to get to where I am.
No, you didn't have to be masculine for so long. You chose to be masculine for so long. Once again, responsibility and accountability, poof, out the door. Because I had to? No, you didn't have to. I know hardworking women who are freaking feminine. So don't tell me you had to be masculine for so long. There is no other culture that works harder than Filipino women. And I mean, they work hard. And they're still some of the most feminine women you can ever come across. Tell me I'm wrong.
So yeah, I'm doing things like that. I'm doing more self-care things. I'm trying to like actually put effort into my appearance and like my skincare and things, and try dating again and try like breaking down the barriers of like that hyper masculinity that's in me that I've had for so long. So yeah, I don't know if any girls can relate to this, or if they feel how I feel, but it's hard to describe other than like I don't feel like a woman and it sucks. So if you have any tips, I'd appreciate it.
That's sad that she's actually feeling that way, but I think she's just looking for companionship on her journey. I don't know if she's really looking to change. I don't know because why ask a woman? Because all you seem to be doing is you want other women around you that think the same way. I don't know. I don't get it. Let me read some of the comments. Dinosaur What says, it feels like a costume when I try to wear skirts and dresses. So this is another woman who's basically saying that she feels masculine. Megan rolling on the floor, smiling. I drop wild amount of money on my cute soft girl era. New princess vehicle and all. I want to be soft. Tired of anger and hardness. Yeah, boy. The feminism is just freaking deeply embedded in these women. You ladies don't understand how much you've been indoctrinated to just hate men. It's insane when you read some of these comments, man. Wholesome Dad said, I think the independence equal masculinity mindset can be a little toxic, but I don't know. WYM. I know, woman. The biggest key to feeling feminine in clothes is finding a flattering waistline. Okay, what are you talking about? She needs a what are those called? A waist trainer? Amanda says, no one talks about how hard this is. The urge to wear a hoodie and sweats every day is so hard. Wow, this disease is in deep with a lot of you women who've just grown up with this whole freaking feminist ideal, boy. It has literally transformed a lot of you into men. You don't realize that this is what has happened. Bruno's mom said, I get you, girl. The feminine look is a huge part of it, but just as crucial is a feminine energy, letting yourself receive and feel deserved. Oh, gosh, we're going to get into that, but it's unbelievable. Anna, this Orthodox home blog, says, it's not just you. So many of us are trying to move out of our masculine, and it really is a journey. It takes time to unleash habits and be/feel feminine. You'll get there. Lena said, oh my God, I'm on my feminine journey right now because growing up chubby, I don't care why I always feel like I couldn't be feminine, you know? Wow. So a lot of women seem to be suffering from this femininity problem. So let's look at Essie. Let's see a little closer look. She has off her top. And this video says, if they always come back, it means you were never the problem. They were. Oh, Essie. If they come back, it means that they were horny and you were easy. Doesn't mean anything. A lot of women fall for this bullshit. Well, he came back to me. That means he can't do without me. No, he's horny. That's it. Doesn't get any easier or simpler than that. If a man left you, he took that chance to say, I'm out, right? And then few days or few weeks after that, he's coming back. He's just freaking horny. So now I'm going to show you an updated video of what she said.
Let's just ignore how I look right now because I look nasty and stinky, and I know. And it's hair wash day. I'm going to the gym. I know I look gross, but ignore that. And back to the main point. When I started posting the series of I want to be more feminine, how to be more feminine, what I did want was advice and tips because, like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't even know where to start. So shout out to literally all the girly pops that gave me advice because...
The hell is this shit about little girly pops? What is that? Are you a freaking 10-year-old? Are you a 10-year-old? Shout out to all the little girly pops. You're acting like a child. You're a grown-ass woman with most of your body covered in tattoos. Come on, man. Grow up.
It's a long journey, but I feel like the process is working. But this video is mostly about what I wasn't expecting was people to come for my looks. And when I tell you I deleted every mean comment, I deleted it because I'm not accepting that negativity on this journey. That is not okay.
Yeah, you see, that's not how change occur. You can't expect to change something and not go through some pain to change. Every single change requires pain. It's a painful purging process. Painful purging process. And part of change involves someone telling you the truth, whether you like it or not. It's painful. And usually the best people to listen to are the ones who telling you the painful stuff. Because the reason why you haven't changed yet is because you keep ignoring the people who are giving you the truth. The people who are bullshitting you don't have your best interest in mind. They're just trying to make you feel good. The people who are criticizing, you put it, criticizing, those are the people who are telling you the truth. Listen to those and use your critical thinking skills to determine whether they're being mean or they're actually telling you something that is true but painful. They're coming after your looks because you freaking look ridiculous. You look freaking ridiculous. You're covered in tattoos from your neck down. You have to deal with that shit because you know it's true because you've started your tattoo removal journey.
And I deleted all the comment from men too, because as a man, I don't want you to tell me how to be feminine. I want the women to tell me how to be feminine because you're a man.
See, there's the bullshit right there. You want the women who are competing against the same men that you want? Oh, you're so naive. You're so bogged down into the whole feminist bullshit, not realizing that women don't have your best interest in mind. They will pretend they do, but they are ready to slit your throat every single step of the way just to make sure that you're out of the game. They don't want you to be more feminine than them. They don't want you to be prettier than them. That is not women's MO. Women don't give women good advice. Men give you the right advice because it's harsh and straight to the point. A man will tell you you're fat. He's not going to tell you, oh, you just got a few pounds. No, fuck it, you're fat. A woman will tell you, no, girl, you look like a queen. You know the memes out there, man. Every freaking woman will say, oh, Lizzo's a 10. Lizzo's a 10. When someone says, oh, you look like Lizzo. Oh, you're calling me fat? I'm not freaking fat. But Lizzo's a 10. You don't want to be a 10? And then the cognitive dissonance gets in their brain. But what I'm trying to show you is women don't freaking tell each other truths. So you will constantly live in delusion. You're not going to get anywhere listening to other women. Hate to tell you that, lady.
But yeah, people were like, ew, that nose ring looks ugly on you. Get rid of it. Ew, the tattoos make you look like a man. Remove your tattoos. Like, oh, going to the gym is going to make you more manly. Like, that's not what I asked for. I did not want that. So shout out to everyone who didn't leave a mean and rude comment. Shout out to all the girly pops who left something nice. Because constructive criticism, because I'm sensitive right now. I can't handle you yelling at me like that.
Oh, Christ. She's a freaking immature child. I can't deal with that sort of shit. So that's who Essie is, right? So now I want you guys to look at some of the femininity coaches out there who are telling other women how to be more feminine. This is good.
If you're not doing these 3 things, then my darling, you're not feminine. I will give you 3 life-changing tips today that will actually transform you into becoming a feminine woman. Tip number 1, if you're not being creative in your life, you're never doing anything creative, you're definitely not being feminine. And because creative energy fuels your feminine energy, both of these energies flow like a river. So once you start doing even once a week a creative activity, it will change your life. It could be anything.
Oh, I know a lot of creative artists who look like butch men. I don't understand. Okay, she's creative and it's going to make her more feminine. What's creative? Painting, reading, art, photography. I don't. What is creative and how does that equate to femininity? Yeah, it might bring her some joy. So you're saying that joy makes you more feminine, she's happy, more relaxed? Yeah, but you could be masculine and be relaxed as well. I don't see how that's relevant.
There's no boundaries of being creative, and there's no stereotypes of what's great and what's not to be feminine. Do what makes you feel happy creatively, my darling. Tip number 2, my darling. If you're always people pleasing, saying yes when you want to say no, you're not a feminine woman, because you're not restoring your energy. You're always wasting it on people who don't matter and doing things you don't want to do. So you're drained when you actually have to do things that truly matter to you and your feminine energy. There's several videos on my channel about feminine.
To me, these are life skills. I mean, it's not femininity skills. You would tell a man, listen, find a hobby as well. Find something artistic to do. Go build something. Photography, that was my artistic outlet, right? But that doesn't make you feminine. Makes you calm. Saying yes or no to people, that's a life skill. Doesn't make you feminine. Women don't go around saying yes, yes, yes to everybody. They're actually the opposite. They're the takers of society. Most women are not sitting around going, oh, I'm going to do this for someone. I'm going to do this for this man. I'm going to do this. No, that is the absolute opposite of femininity in its essence. Women who are feminine should say yes to a lot more, because part of what makes a woman feminine is to be nurturing. In most cases, when someone asks you for something, it's usually something to do with nurturing, care. Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?
And finally, tip number 3, my darling. If you're not taking out a routine for yourself where you're doing things that will basically help you, then you're not feminine. And this doesn't mean wear makeup, wear makeup, you have to wear a dress skirt. None of that jazz is taught by me, darling, because I don't think that's true. It's about finding the 5 minutes in the morning to journal about things you want to do and achieve in life. It's about writing the to-do list that truly matters and keeps you on track. It's about sipping the tea a little slowly so that you feel at peace and not always stressed when you're doing your morning routine. It's about coming back home and keeping the shoes where they should be, because you know that makes everything easy tomorrow morning. It's all about those routine things. If you don't have a routine in place that gives you relaxation and gives you less stress and anxiety, then you're always in flight and fight mode. And once you're in flight and fight mode, you're never in your feminine energy or being feminine, because you're always stressed.
All right. So another life skill. Anyone who has discipline should have a routine. Routine is just part of being a man, a woman, a boy, a girl. Routine is a major part of life itself, because it cuts down on you wasting time on trying to figure out regular stuff. But this is just part of life. I look at her face and I don't see a smile. I don't see anything inviting about her. I just see a bitchy looking face. Like, yes, I'm a woman attitude. Not one frigging frame. I'm scrubbing through this thing. Not one frame in this shows that she is smiling or she has a feminine disposition. But yet she's a femininity coach. I'll just speed this up for you guys. Just look. Do you see any smile? Nothing. Nothing.
If you want to be more feminine, please stop calling your boyfriend, husband, or partner bruh. Last thing for today, please change the smoke detector. It's beeping. I hope this helps. Bye, y'all.
First one, perfect. Don't call your boyfriend bro. Nah, I saw my daughter doing that with some of her male friends. I said, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. He's not your boyfriend. He's not your brother. He's not your pal. Don't call other men bro. Call them by their name. The smoke detector clearly indicates that you're single. It has nothing to do with femininity. It's just that women have a hard time getting a ladder in the house to change the smoke detector, because you got to find the ladder, number one, and it has to be an A-type ladder so that she can climb on it in order to get up there and change the bloody smoke detector. That's a job most men will gladly undertake, but for a woman, that's a freaking nightmare. Most women don't even have a ladder that will reach the ceiling. So they hear that bloody thing so often and so long that their brain actually shuts it off.
A woman who earns has more feminine energy. They've lied to you. They told you that making money makes you a masculine woman, that being provided for is what keeps you soft, feminine, and desirable. But let's be real. What's more feminine than being completely at peace? A woman with money moves different. She's not stressed, desperate, or bending to survive. She's radiant because she's free. Free to rest, free to create, free to move at her own pace, in her own rhythm, without needing any permission. The truth is, lack makes a woman hard. Survival makes her masculine. And dependence, that's what makes her anxious. But wealth lets her exhale and let her be. So no, money doesn't take away from femininity. It amplifies it, because nothing is softer, more graceful, and more feminine than a woman who is fully in her power.
Yeah, but you got to understand, how do you make money? How do you get to that point, especially when you're young? How do you make money that quickly? It requires you to be an aggressive go-getter. It requires you to have an energy that in order to compete with men to make money, you have to be like a man. This is where the big problem comes in. It takes the woman out of her natural state because she now has to compete with a man to make the money. And it's a nasty conundrum, right? And the second part of the equation is, once she actually makes the money, hypergamy kicks in. Now she wants a better man, being more masculine. So she now operates as a masculine female who wants a high value man or higher than her, and that man wants a simple feminine woman. You see where the problem comes in? And that man has choices. So she just pretty much works herself out of the very thing that she's working to be attracted for. She now works herself out of contention. This is the problem that a lot of women, especially successful women, fail to see.
To be more feminine, I allow men to pursue and take the initiative. I do not call men first and initiate plans and dates and link ups and tell them how much I miss them and when are we going to see each other again.
Come on, don't overplay that. The bottom line is that if you're at the beginning of a relationship, you can't tell someone you miss them because you never had any history with them. So I hate how women overinflate these ideas of hookups. No one misses someone that you hook up with. People only miss people who they have history with, and a lot of history. Not hooking up every 2 to 3 weeks. You can't miss somebody like that. The point I'm trying to make is, don't bring this up as a point of contention for you not attracting a man. This is the reason why women give other women bad advice. In today's environment, if a woman don't make it very clear that she's interested in a man, she's not going to get any success with that man. Women have to make it very clear that she has an interest in that man. And it has nothing to do with femininity. It has everything to do with the state of the dating market that has been influenced by feminism and the whole leave me alone, don't talk to me era. So please give women the right advice. And once again, I'm pointing out, this is the reason why you don't listen to women on giving you advice when it comes to being feminine or what men want.
I heard somebody say there's always the girl that the man did not have to text first or hit up first. And I am that girl. If a man wants you, he's going to show you that, especially in the courting phase. It's really no reason for you to have to step out of your feminine and start chasing him or just overplaying your part. Once y'all have some level of familiarity, then sure, maybe I'll check in first or things like that. But anytime I feel like it's imbalanced or I'm doing more, I pull my energy back. I never let it get to the point where I'm giving more than I'm receiving. I try my best not to argue with people. I say what I mean and mean what I say, and I don't let people pull me into arguments. I understand that I am not responsible for how other people feel or how they perceive things, so I remain detached. I say what it is that I feel, and if it's not understood, then I accept that. Maybe we're just not aligned. But anytime I sense that someone's trying...
If you feel that they didn't understand you, then you try harder to make them understand you. It doesn't have to be an argument. It just has to be a discussion. Sorry, it seems like you misunderstood me, but what I was saying, and I don't want you to misunderstand me, is X, Y, Z. But if you dismiss it, then you have no connection. And so you're back to stage 1. And so you end up with, once again, you're apart. The biggest problem that most people have is that they don't communicate clearly. And then when they feel that they have to go back to clarify or to reiterate or to to put some effort into the freaking union, they feel that they're doing too much. But relationships are not easy. And miscommunication is a huge freaking problem. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I don't want you to misunderstand me. And stop me if you feel that you understood me. But I just want you to know that this is what I meant when I said this. I don't want you to feel away. I don't want you to feel bad. Or I don't want you to think that I don't care, because I really do. I want to put some effort into this relationship. Those are words that are beautiful to a man's ears, as they should to another woman, because it shows that the person is capable of communicating clearly.
To reel me into an argument or spark an emotional reaction out of me, I just let them be a fool on their own. I'll just say things like, let me know when you're ready to have a productive conversation, or I'm not available for this. That makes them even more mad, or it makes them consider, taking a different approach. So either way, you remain in control. Learn to allow people to be themselves. I've mastered just letting people be them, like the let them theory. I don't criticize. I don't nitpick. I don't try to change people, convince people. That is not my job. The feminine rests and receive. You take people as they are and you decide if their energy aligns with you or not. It is not your job to coach them, teach them, mold them, transform them. That's not your job. So I don't waste my energy trying to change how people are or get them to see where I'm coming from. Like, I let them show up the way they want to show up, and I decide if that works for me or not.
Yeah, the problem with this sort of thinking, though, is that you always assume that you're right. And this is the problem that a lot of women have. They think that they're always right. My way, because that's the way I understand it, and it's right. So when another person is trying to explain something else from their perspective, you eliminate it. And then you equate it as arguing or they're not for me. Instead of analyzing and realizing, okay, we can actually compromise here. Or, you know what? His way of looking at it is actually better than mine. And more importantly, his way of thinking is actually not a deal breaker for all the other great qualities that I see with him. You got to look at all of these things, my dear. But you don't just eliminate someone because you didn't like their opinion on one issue.
I protect my energy, my body, my aura, everything. I am not easily accessible, and I don't give myself to anybody that wants me. I keep my standards high, and I vet those who are willing to meet them. To help you keep your standards high, start dating yourself. Another thing I do to remain in my feminine is take myself out on nice dates. This allows me to not only keep high standards because I can do for myself what I expect others to do. It also just allows me to be more comfortable in my own energy. Like, it allows me to be comfortable being alone and not feel like I have to be in a state of desperation or extreme loneliness. I feel content alone. So anybody who comes in my presence have to add to my life.
All right. This idea of dating themselves and marrying themselves is bullshit. It's just another way of saying, I'm going to do what I want to do, and that's it. Yes, you should be comfortable on your own. Not so comfortable that you become isolated, that you become so comfortable with yourself that you don't put any effort into having a relationship. And then when you get into your depressive modes, you start to feel so lonely. And because you haven't been communicating with other people, you lose your communication skills and your relationship skills. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to create that animal, because that is not a feminine person, that you just become a lonely, isolated individual. And it's not okay.
I don't ask men a bunch of questions. I don't question them. I don't drill them or ask them about other women. If I feel like a man is being like evasive, or they're like telling me something, but you can tell they're leaving something out, I don't be asking, oh, who was you with? Or what was y'all doing? Like, I take a hint. They would have told me, they would have mentioned it if they wanted to. So I'm not going to even ask because I really don't care.
Yeah, that's not a good attitude either. because then you're setting yourself up to be exposed to things that you might not have asked the right questions on. Some crazy ass baby mama or somebody else that's in the picture. You get involved with this guy 2-3 years down the line. Well, you didn't ask me. I didn't think you cared, because you didn't. You said it. But the point is that you got to learn to ask the questions the right way. So you have any baby mamas? Anyone out there that could pose a threat to me or to our relationship? If we ever go deeper into our relationship, that's the way you ask. And if he wants to evade it, you can say, hey, listen, it sounds like you're missing something out. If you're not ready to tell me right now, that's okay. But I would appreciate it if you'd be honest with me, because I'm going to have to bring it up again later on. If you know that there's nothing, then fine. But if you're not ready, fine. That's okay as well. But don't let it slide, because this attitude that I don't care, that doesn't work in your favor. That will never work in your favor.
Wear cute, sexy pajamas to bed. This will boost your feminine energy so much. And have like a nice nighttime routine. Like before I go to sleep, I always do my skincare and drink tea and just relax before I wind down.
Yeah, that's a nice health tip. Get in your zen, get in your relaxed mode. Whether it's femininity or not, I don't know. Because I do the same thing. I have a nice cup of tea and relax before I go to sleep. I try not to do any scrolling before I go to bed. I try to relax before I get to bed. But it doesn't make me feminine. Just saying. Anyway, listen, my friends, this has been a longer one, but I hope you learned something from this. Femininity encompasses many things. Yes, ladies, it's a state. It's a feeling. It's also part of who you are as women. It's part of being female. It is the essence of which men need in order for him to feel like he's a man. It is what triggers his desires, and that desire is for you. Men don't like masculine women. That's another reason why the birth rates are so low. That's another reason why most men are not having the urge to have sex, because all he sees are women who are acting like men. So ladies, work on your femininity. Be feminine. Bring it back, because we men miss it. Bring back the smiles, the hellos, the subtle nods. That's all that men need, really. The politeness, the respect. These are feminine traits, because you're projecting those to the opposite sex. That is what makes you feminine. So my friends, I would love to hear more from you. Let's have a discussion in the comments section on what makes a woman feminine. Okay? So, my friends, like this video on the way out. And of course, book a session if you need any help from the older man. So until tomorrow, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you soon. Cheers.